1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Hello. Hey, how are we doing? Christmas Day. It's 9 p.m. There's been 2 beers already been recorded. I'm pretty excited, I suppose. Maybe that's a product of the beers I've already had. Who knows? It's hard to say. The next one, though, is a Whopper. It was pretty big, and I left at the end of the day because I knew it would be kind of one of those game over beers. And I'm sure if you're watching this now or in the future, you're curious to see what on earth it is. So let's get it going. Hell yeah, it is. So I had a beer. Let's be clear about this. I had a beer by Azvex, which was a stocking filler. I think it was 12%. And that's the one I was thinking I was going to like knock out of the park, right? And then I met up with the beer connoisseur, Jacob, and we swapped. So he's got the stocking filler, and he surprised me with one I believe he said he had on tap, and it came highly recommended, which is one of the many Amundsen 9th birthday celebration cake beers that they produced back then. I'll show you a little bit more about what those are. But this is German chocolate cake. Wait for it. Appealing to my Canadian, with maple frosting pastry stout. And this absolute menace to common sense is a 13%. Let's see it focus. Yeah, there it is. 13%. Rarely do you see a UK beer that says one beer, 5.7 units. You know, when you go for your checkup at the doctor and they're like, oh, how often do you do this? Do you do that? Do you drink? And you're like, yeah. Well, how many units per day do you have? And you're like, oh, I did have that Amundsen beer, and that kind of throws everything out of whack. That's it. And that's where we are. Amundsen, out of Oslo, Norway. Crazy expensive. Get your Amundsen beers elsewhere. I say this every time, and I'm going to say it again. And then this one is actually partnered with, it's very subtle, and I'm going to say it wrong, Stigbergets. Stigbergets? I don't know. It's a strange sounding word. I don't know how to say it right. Out of Sweden, which is a lot of this series where there's a bunch of them that they've partnered up with different breweries, some in the UK, some throughout Europe, and they all are pretty extravagant in their own unique way. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But while we're waiting, let's pry this open. This is like that moment. It feels like that moment at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they actually open the Ark of the Covenant and everybody's face melts. That's the sort of reaction I'm expecting to get from this one. It's really not frothing. Like, I'm really trying to give some head to this just to see what color it is and how it looks. And I'm getting nothing, right? It's very similar to the first one I had that I found was heavily sweetened, a little too sweet for me. But this one's got, look at that, velvety foam head, beautiful darkness. Yeah, it's looking really, really good. And I have this big shout, Merry Christmas, Mercy Beers. Thank you for joining me. I hope your day has been as beer infused as mine has. And I am going to give this a little nose and see what happens. If you missed the early one, that blew my mind. It was like a Mörslutter. I have to show it to you. It needs to be seen to believe. Stig Barrett's. Thank you. Well, yeah. There we go. For you don't know, Rampant Lion. Rampant Lion is in Europe though, right? So probably has far greater access to these beers. So that's cool. I'll have to check out that and see what his opinion, which is always very much an opinion, is on the on those beers. And do check out Rampant Lion on YouTube. Has a gazillion more followers than I do, so I don't know why I'm telling you to do that. Very sweet, really nice. I want to say a bit pruny, but I like prunes, so screw that. Let's try it. Holy shit, it's smooth. My God. That is thick. God, this is a great substitute for an oil change if you get stuck somewhere, in a pinch on the highway. Hold on. Okay, that is not as sweet as the earlier one. It still is incredibly sweet, really big dessert beer. Now we have to pick it apart though, because what are they claiming it is? That's really the I find interesting about this, is that Amundsen makes a lot of beers like this, and let's let's do this. Here's Amundsen in Oslo. I did a little search while I was rambling to you, and we can see the selection here of here. There it is. All right, and there's like a Wookiees and Cookies Imperial Pastry with Emperor, North Espresso Lava Cake. Okay, there's like you can see the varieties: cinnamon roll and orange. Well, that's probably gonna have some very obvious flavors. Raspberry Imperial, and here we go. We have the Stig Barrett's German chocolate cake, which absolutely buying into that. Let's do a little boom. There we go. Rampant line. Yeah, in Sweden, which is where that Stig Barrett. I don't know if we're gonna say it right. Is from. So that's cool. So if you want to learn more about that brewery, go check out that channel. Here we go. So the thing that always gets me when people say maple frosting as my like Canadian kicks in, and I'm like, I have a mental inventory, flavor inventory of what good maple tastes like, from light to dark and different grades. It's like an art form in itself. You could probably do a YouTube channel just tasting maple in Canada if you wanted to. So when someone says it has maple, I'm like, does it? It's usually a pretty bad version of maple. Mostly, it's like, I think there was like an episode of Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation, where they would replicate food, and maybe it's not that, but the idea that somebody making food based on what they've seen and not really ever having tasted it. So the maple always feels like a fabricated version of it. I think it's a like a very heavy fudgy cake, and I think there is like an attempt at maple, but it is that false maple that is like getting into the like back top of my nose that I'm never really a big fan of. Doesn't mean I don't like the beer. I think it's actually pretty nice, but it's like, yeah, it has this thing where it's like I'm just so fussy about maple flavor that it drives me bonkers if it's not really spot on, and very few are. It does, however, honestly, have a French toast feel to it. I know there have been French toast stouts, imperial stouts in the past that I've had that I thought got pretty good. The breadiness, almost like that eggy breadiness that you do pour maple on, it does change the sort of profile of the maple, and you do get this very distinctive French toast flavor, which is incredibly sweet. That is what this is like. This is like somebody made a chocolate cake and somehow infused French toast into it, and you ate them, or you just get two pieces and you just shove them in your mouth at the same time. So there we go. And as if to corroborate my assessment, yeah, I mean, they do have the dessert in a can series, which just seemed like outlandish, Amundsen. And I did a ton of those during the Great British Bake Off week, like a year and a bit ago. But for some reason, I still love the creativity that behind them, the art that goes along with every can. There's just something special about it that I still don't want to be too critical over. It was a good attempt, respectful attempt, and in its own right, it's kind of a tasty little beer. But I'm not gonna. It's not gonna like. It's not going way up into the four or whatever is in my score is 4 to 10s or whatever. It's not, or it's not gonna be over 8 out of 10. No way. I'm gonna come out of this and calm down and go, yeah, all right. It's a lovely novelty. I will only ever have one of. How about that? But perfect for Christmas Day. All about, well, I guess sometimes for me, a little bit of excess, a little bit of a loud misbehavior, and this represents it. So on that bombshell, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna disappear. Oh, I think I've done this already. I can get rid of this. So on that, I'm out. This has been a really wonderful Christmas. I hope yours has been awesome as well. I still have the sealed up. Oh, if you're watching Mercy Beers, do you know how to say the Moer Slute, the Dutch brewery company? So if you can throw that in the comments, that'd be amazing. I don't know how to say that brewery, but that's still waiting for me as well. So I'm gonna be sipping some really sweet beers on the route to midnight, probably watching Die Hard or some other obviously approved Christmas film, and that's it. I hope you had a good one. I don't have a beer lined up for tomorrow. I'm gonna take Boxing Day off. but I will be back soon before the end of the Morslurtel. That's kind of what I was saying. All right, awesome, nailed it. I didn't get too disastrous, really. That's the end of my Christmas. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Mercy Beers. Thanks, everybody watching now and in the future. Merry Christmas. I will do a review before the new year, so you'll see one more, and then hopefully New Year's Day, I will give you a revolutionary, unexpected twist to the review, and also kind of maybe to my channel. So I will see you then. This is Beer Native. My name is Steve Jaguar. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Steve out.